So this Ripple versus SEC case has recently been picked up by more of the mainstream media. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what Charles Gasparino of Fox Business just did that didn't make a lot of XRP holders happy, but there's going to be one special guest that he's going to have on his live stream on Crypto Friday, and I'm going to tell you about what they're going to talk about. And some more related news to the Ethereum miners that are essentially being shut down in China. I'm going to tell you about what one of the largest manufacturers of cryptocurrency mining equipment is just about to do. And if you're following the United States government and what it's doing regarding new economic issues, right now there's some news that are coming out about the US Treasury yield and what it's actually doing. Well, it's on the rise, and I'm going to tell you what that could mean for Bitcoin, for gold, as well as some speculation on inflation. Hey everybody, my name is Randy, and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. And right now, we are covering the Ripple versus SEC case, of course, as well as other cryptocurrency news and investment markets and personal finance. So if any of those topics interest you, make sure you go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon so that YouTube will notify you when I release a new video. And of course, I believe people in the crypto space are the most generous people on the planet. So if you're feeling generous, I'd really appreciate it if you go ahead and do two things. Number one, smash that thumbs up button. And number two, watch this video all the way to the end. It really helps out to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, so let's jump into it. So the first thing I wanted to mention about a cryptocurrency mining machine manufacturing company that just came out with some news today that I wanted to mention because of my video yesterday when I talked about one of the largest Ethereum mining pools in all of the world recently shut down. Well, today I saw that one of the biggest cryptocurrency mining machine manufacturers is also going to be stopping business in China. They will be making no more sales to mainland China. Now, the spokesperson for this company said there was really only two sources in China, two private sources that they worked with, but they will no longer be working with them. Now this kind of rides on the backs of what I said yesterday with Ethereum moving to Ethereum 2.0 and moving to a proof of stake. Kind of makes these crypto mining machines obsolete. So are we going to see some more availability of crypto mining machines available for people around the world, or especially people in the United States? So we're going to see if there's actually some sales that are going to tick up for this industry, something that I'm going to keep an eye on. And if you've been following some of the economic news, especially in the United States, right now they're talking about raising the debt ceiling, a $3.5 trillion infrastructure spending plan that has been going back and forth in Congress. That there's a lot of things that people don't exactly want to be paid for with their tax dollars. Well, regardless of what's going to happen there, there's also speculation that the United States is going to go ahead and mint a $1 trillion platinum coin. Now, if this sounds familiar, it's because it is. Venezuela did it. They printed a $1 trillion bill right before hyperinflation kicked in their country. It's kind of some scary stuff. But nonetheless, every week it looks like the 10-year Treasury bond yields, the yields that the US Treasury is giving out, are getting higher and higher. And typically this has been a signal that some of the traditional investment meaning like gold and now Bitcoin. However, there is some charts that suggest data from the past 10 years that whenever the US Treasury yield climbs higher and goes into expansion mode, that is when the Bitcoin price tends to do well. Now, it may just coincide with the fact of the halving dates and what happens with the scarcity of Bitcoin and things like that. And there's a lot of factors that play into it. But there's been some analysts that are talking about what the Treasury bonds are going to do to gold and Bitcoin. And what they were saying is that it's not looking good for gold. Of course, being in the crypto market for some time, you can kind of see that a lot of things aren't golden for gold. Even though it looks like there's a chance that some of these real yields versus nominal yields typically goes against the value of Bitcoin, some analysts have said that Bitcoin stands a much greater chance of not seeing near as much effect of it as gold would. Sorry, Peter Schiff, that is just what the data is saying. But the other side of this is that a lot of people are speculating that minting a $1 trillion platinum coin would basically lead to unlimited quantitative easing. What does that do? Well, that makes assets pump up in price, creating another bubble. Well, a lot of people are speculating that's what happens to stocks, bonds, Bitcoin, real estate, any particular asset that is used as a store of value or a hedge against inflation typically does well. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And related to that article, I also saw where JP Chase actually recently came out with some information saying that their big-time investors are a little more interested in Ethereum than they are in Bitcoin right now. The price of Ethereum futures are actually going for 1% higher than actually the spot numbers, meaning the actual price of Ethereum. So that's something that's really interesting. But the other thing, of course, going into this last quarter of the year is looking at the chance of a Bitcoin ETF. That could mean massive, massive news for the Bitcoin price moving forward. But now in the case of the SEC versus Ripple, if you've been following my channel as well as a few other channels, you've been seeing that these storylines, well, they don't look too good on the old SEC regime, those who actually brought the suit against Ripple. Well, more recently, Charles Gasparino of Fox Business has jumped onto the story, and he's been covering it for a couple of weeks now. Now, he is brand new to some of this information, and a lot of the XRP army, especially on YouTube and Twitter, when they see some not so good activity or some shady activity or videos that surface from 2018 that just don't look good, the outcry is, of course, conspiracy or corruption. And this is what led to the lawsuit against Ripple. Well, Charles Gasparino basically backed up and said, hang on, there's a reason for all this. Let's not go ahead and say corruption every time we see something like this. Well, of course, that caught the attention of a lot of the XRP army who said, uh-oh, he's been bought out. He's been told to be quiet. Well, Charles fired back and said, no. In fact, I'm going to have one of your guys on my show on Friday. So none other than attorney John Deaton, who is an outside attorney covering this case and who is also representing 30,000 XRP holders seeking to intervene in this case. He's going to be joining Charles Gasparino on the Fox Business live stream. So that's something that we are going to keep a big eye on. That's going to be happening on Friday. You can follow me down in Twitter. I will tweet the information out as to when that live stream is actually going to be going up. And it's something that I'm definitely going to be following as it happens. Because attorney John Deaton has put together an amazing timeline, and I'll link that in the description down below, as to the big backstory behind this Ripple case, behind this Ripple lawsuit, why Jay Clayton actually filed it. Because here's where a lot of the conspiracy and corruption stories come from. There's a lot of information that John has that hopefully he'll be able to share with Charles. Because this is one of the pieces that has been leading a lot of people in the XRP community to be saying settlement, settlement, settlement is coming. Because there's just too much information. There's too much dirty information from 2018 coming out on Twitter and all over the place. And the judge and all the lawyers are seeing it. And the SEC just doesn't want that much dirt coming out, so they want to end it soon. So one of those pieces is because of the information that is now being discussed on mainstream media like Fox Business. So you are definitely going to want to pay attention to what John Deaton says on that live stream. And so if you want to follow along with any and all of these stories, make sure you do a couple of things. Number one, subscribe to the Late Night Grind YouTube channel, as well as follow me on Twitter. That's where I provide a lot of different information. I retweet a lot of other stories in the cryptocurrency world that I don't exactly get to talk about on this channel. So you can go ahead and follow me there. Also, don't forget to check out the community tab. I put up different polls out there talking about this Ripple case, talking about the cryptocurrency community, price movements, market cycles, and anything and everything involved in that. So I love to see what the Late Night Grind community has to say about it. Some pretty interesting information. So go ahead and participate in those polls. So once again, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. It's one of the best things that you can do to support a YouTube channel. That and giving it a big thumbs up. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.